Now, from WBZ Sports, this is Burton Ernie Talk Football with Fauria.
You know, they hadn't lost in nearly 3 months. We're just not used to this. Welcome, everyone, to Burton Ernie Talk Football with Fauria. I'm Steve Burton. The winning streak is over. It's over. And the Pats need to put Sunday's loss behind them, refocus, turn their attention to the Baltimore Ravens. Join me now is Ernie Adams and Christian Fauria. And let me ask you now, right out of the gate, is there such a thing as a good loss?
No. You play the game to win, and losses are not good. What you have to do is learn your lesson, get refocused, and get ready for the next game, or as we would say around here,
on to Cincinnati,
on the Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay. But you have to make good use of a loss,
right,
so that a loss doesn't turn into the start of a losing streak.
Yeah, use it as fuel. No, there is no such thing as a good loss. There are moral victory Mondays, though.
Today's Tuesday.
I know, but usually, moral victory Mondays, like you play on Sunday, you don't win, but you really feel like you won because you tried so hard and you came really close. And it's usually an underdog. This is not that situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't feel that way down there.
This Patriots team, 10 wins. You thought they had it figured out. Jump off to a 21-point lead.
Yes.
There's no way they should have lost this game.
Yes.
But everything that shouldn't happen or needed to happen for them to lose did, in spades.
This was a total team loss. Special teams, offense, defense, players, coaches, a team loss.
Everybody had a hand in it.
What happened in the second half?
Well, everything broke down. You give up.
Everything. The car just broke down.
Yeah. You give up. Long kickoff returns. You can't get open on third down on offense. Give them the ball back. You get pushed off the line in the running game on defense. Turn receivers.
Everything went bad at once.
Everything went basically. Yeah. When you lose that kind of lead, that's what happened. I mean, I think what the announcer said, and this unfortunately is another one I remember, it was the first time the Patriots had lost that kind of lead since 1978 when we lost to Dan Pastorini and Earl Campbell and the Houston Oilers. I still remember that.
That was 100 years ago.
It was 100 years. But that's what happens when you lose.
Almost.
It's in you remember losses.
Yeah, I think that it's you can look at they had great field position. They came out, they used the clock to their advantage. The Patriots couldn't stay on the field, and then they couldn't get off of it, so they just started. And then they did have that one big run, that one big play by Trayvon Henderson. I'm like, okay, that was the play they needed.
Right.
But then the Bills got it right back, and they answered. So it's a little bit demoralizing. And then when they needed a big play on offense, they couldn't quite connect.
And they had, I really felt like, they got the ball twice. Once with about 6:45 to go in the fourth quarter, or once with a little over 2 minutes. Okay, you want to be a championship team? You got to go right now. And
Bah humbug.
That's what you say.
Bah humbug. All right, so let's look ahead, okay? Because now Baltimore's next. Baltimore's a desperate football team.
Yep.
Okay, and they're playing well as of late. Lamar Jackson's coming off his best game as a Raven this year. So how scary are the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, they're scary enough. You don't go down and play a good football game, you're not going to like the result.
Well, I will add that, the Ravens started off horribly. They started off like they had injuries to Lamar Jackson. Their defense couldn't stay on the field. They had a bunch of injuries there as well. But since week 6, they're only giving up about 16 points a game. Mm-hmm. So that defense is playing extremely well. So that's going to be a challenge on the road, Sunday Night Football. And your offense is going to have to keep up with their offense because they got all their guys back. They're both their tight ends. They're back. The receivers. This is a massive challenge for them.
Massive challenge. And I have a lot of respect that John Harbaugh will have that team ready to play. This is always a tough, physical team. They will be ready to go.
What happens, and I hate to even ask this question, but if the Patriots lose this game, obviously they can still win.
Yeah.
If they went out against the Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah.
But what happens psychologically if they lose this game?
Listen, losses are not good. You have to put it behind you.
What'd you do with yours? The one time you mentioned something about burying something. What'd you do?
Burying football?
We buried a football. We took the football out of the practice field with a shovel, and just to make the point, we dug a hole, we put the football in, and we buried it.
Is that football still there?
Probably.
There's a tree.
Where'd you bury it?
Yeah, right over on the edge. As I remember,
practice field?
over on the edge of the practice field.
Well, listen, if they lose this game, is it the end of the world? No. And burying the football or having team meetings, like those things are great in the beginning of the season. Towards the end of the season, if you're burying footballs, that's the wrong type of message. I would say, listen, it'll be demoralizing, it'll be irritating, but you get over that even quicker knowing that every goal you have is still right in front of you. You control your own destiny, because if you win out against the Jets and against the Dolphins, who I think are cooked, by the way, after that loss last night to the Steelers, they're not going to be willing to play at all. You still win the division.
Dolphins already eliminated.
But let's be really clear. They had a chance to really be in position for that #1 seed, the bye week, the whole thing. That's
is it out the window now?
It's
Denver. You don't see Denver.
The window's been opened. We haven't jumped yet, but that window has been opened.
Yeah, I would say in my position, if I was in that position, I really wouldn't be freaking out about it. Like, I mean, you almost got a couple layers of a cushion, and the Bills still have to win out. And then if the records are equal and they win out, it doesn't matter. You have the home field that you would still win the division based on percentage and your division record.
All right, I was looking. To me, there's such an advantage. Having the bye week. Having home field advantage.
Yeah, Vrabel was 6-0 coming off the bye week.
Right, and that was, I mean, to me, that's I know win the division all, but that #1 seed was was potentially there, and that's basically probably gone.
And here's what, this is we'll all be looking at who's going to be the coach of the year. You have a bunch of different candidates: Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Liam Cohen down in Jacksonville. The great coaches get the most out of their players in December and January. The most coaches get
Mike Vrabel
the
does.
most. Well, no, I think it's important because you're just natural. You're beat up. You're tired. You need a break. But this is when you really got to convince them that this is worth it, and then you squeeze as much of that juice as you can out of that lemon to make some lemonade.
Hey, I mean, like Chris said, Henderson makes that big long run. I'm thinking, okay,
we're back in it.
We're ready to go. And then when it really counted. We didn't get it done.
All right, we're going to go the way pretty soon. We'll see if you can get it done over there, because you got to explain some things.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to leave it up to the coach to explain something. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we head to the whiteboard, talk kickoff returns and kickoff coverage. It was a problem for the Pats on Sunday. Stay tuned. You're watching Burton Ernie talk football with Fauria, and we got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to our whiteboard segment. Burton Ernie talk football with Fauria. We're talking, Ernie, kickoff coverage and what happened on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills.
Right. So what we have, just so everybody understands, on the board here, the black. This would be the Bills, the kickoff return team.
Right.
Okay.
The numbers over there are the Patriots, the kickoff coverage team. So you number the kickoff coverage. 1 through 5 coming outside in. I don't even know what on this new dynamic kickoff. We used to talk guards, tackles, and ends. So I've just got the Bills with the V's.
Okay, good.
I don't know exactly what they call them. And what happened here, because they had a couple big two returns that could have gone for touchdowns.
Right.
And a third one, which was, these were huge plays. In fact, the Bills first, we talked about the Bills scored 5 straight touchdowns. Well, the first 2, they started on the Patriots side of the 50 because of the kickoff return. And, of course, the one even tacked on a 15-yard penalty. So these are huge plays in the game. And you think about when this happens. You score.
Right.
This is your opportunity now to go nail the other team, inside, I guess now the 30-yard line. Get the fans behind you hooting and hollering. It's the big momentum plays in the game.
Buffalo was averaging almost 40 yards return.
Yeah, and that first kickoff return to start the second half was such a momentum, mental boost to that entire team, especially that offense having a short field.
And if you remember, Christian, of course, this was, Coach Bill Belichick is huge on special teams, and that's what he always said. This is the biggest momentum play in football.
Yeah.
And it's
back in business again because a lot of teams are benefiting from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just a whole interesting, the whole dynamic kickoff.
So who's blocking who here? What's going on?
So the big thing that we have here is number three, the returns that Buffalo executed. They got the double team on number 3. who was Anthony Jennings. And, of course, with the new rules, used to be you could get up a full 30-yard head of steam before you were going to meet that.
Now you're not that far apart.
Now it's right there.
Right.
And they got him double-teamed, which are these outside two men, got him double-teamed right here, which really what happened was it created effectively a wall because the pursuit that the Patriots had, coming from the inside, basically ran into that double team. So you double team one man and you create a logjam. Everybody else hits there, and then
so it's like a car crash. Everybody just runs in. Everybody runs into each other.
That's pretty much what it is. It's a car crash. Right?
Although the speed is a little bit slower than it used to be.
But it's like on a snowy day on the
and they just keep running into each other.
Yeah.
Right.
But it creates a lane, doesn't it?
So it creates. You get a wall here. You get this man. You get a kick out here on the off returner who's not getting ball. Kicks out on number 2. And you lead through on number 1, and it's really like an off tackle play running. You get the double team, you get the kick out, and you get the lead through, and it's really the same thing as running off tackle. And we're going to give a shout out here to Anthony Borregales, the kicker, who saved 2 touchdowns. One of them, he was the man who actually got the returner out of bounds. The other one, he made the returner slow down and deal with him, which allowed the pursuit to come from the backside. But as I was saying, this is when, back in the day when, you had the kickoff was a 40-yard, 50-yard sprint.
Right.
The first thing that our punters and kickers did every day
was what?
Was work on form tackling.
Kickers had to learn how to tackle?
Oh, that was funny.
Because you can tell a kicker, and proved it for Borregales on Sunday, a couple of times a year, it's going to be you are the last line of defense, and you can save a touchdown a couple of times.
So kickers actually practice tackling?
And they have shoulder pads on, and most important,
I thought kickers weren't football players.
They're not.
Most important,
yes,
it's really important for kickers. For the play size, you have your mouthpiece in. Okay, you do not want to be running down. Oh God, I wish I had my mouth guard.
Well, I will say the funniest time of the year was in the late summer before the regular season practices started, and we used to have the kickers going tackling drills like all the other players, and watching those guys attempt to tackle somebody, a skill position player in space, hilarious. I don't think it ever happened.
I'll tell you who could do it. Adam Vinatieri.
No, he couldn't do it either.
I remember Adam Vinatieri ran down Herschel Walker.
Totally different. He was chasing somebody instead.
Well, he still had to chase him and tackle him.
Yeah, but that's easy. If you're fast, you can chase him down.
It's not easy tackling Herschel Walker.
I'm going to tell you this. Opening kickoff, Super Bowl 53, Patriots into him, and Cordell Patterson, he got about a 40-yard return. That kicker forced him out of bounds, and the reason that the kicker forced him out of bounds
was what?
Was that he was carrying the football in his inside arm.
So he couldn't stiff arm.
So he couldn't stiff arm. If he'd had it in his, and I told him, CP, if you have it in the proper arm, you stiff arm him.
And go to the house.
It would have been it would have been the difference between a nice 40-yard return and 100 yards to the house in the Super Bowl. The details matter.
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. Time for a break. We're going to talk about, come back to the whiteboard and talk about how the Pats couldn't stop the Bills' ends on Sunday.
The tight ends.
The tight ends. The tight ends.
Oh, Christian is getting fired up.
The tight ends. Yes. What went wrong? We'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to our whiteboard segment. We're talking tight ends, and the Bills' tight ends ate the Patriots up. Check this out, Ernie. 9 targets, 7 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dawson Knox, they couldn't stop. He was open. But how do you cover the tight ends?
Christian knows our good receiving tight end can be a quarterback's best friend.
Right.
Should be.
Should be. Should be. So what happened, and I'm talking about this one play in particular, was late in the game when the Patriots had the Bills 3rd and 15.
3rd and 15.
On their own 15-yard line. So really, they're going to kick a field goal. Okay, but this is a 4-point play because your object on defense is keep them out of the end zone.
Right.
Okay. If they hit a 5-yarder, they're going to kick the field goal anyway.
Okay.
Okay. So what happened here?
This is the Patriots on defense.
Patriots on defense.
In red.
In red. Buffalo came out in an empty set, and this is what a lot of teams like to do this on the 3rd and 15. They came out empty, so they've got five
receivers, nobody in the backfield.
They will tell all 5, get across the goal line, and we used to call it the, like the emergency play. 911, 911. That's what it's called. All 5 people get across the goal line, stay in your lane. You can work on the defender. The quarterback's going to pick out the best guy, and he's going to throw him the ball.
Okay.
So what happened here on the play was we discussed last week, and Harold Landry's been a great addition for the Patriots. He's done a great job.
Right.
But the absolute importance when you're rushing against Josh Allen, lane integrity. Don't go sticking your nose, think you can get inside where it doesn't belong, because what will happen, and what did happen, that gave Josh Allen the opportunity now to get outside, to buy his tight end a little time, and the Patriots were in a cover 4 type of look. So as we talked about with the pass that Stephon Diggs caught against empty, basically the tight end gets isolated on the middle linebacker. Now the quarterback's got extra time, so instead of just working on the goal line, he can come around behind them. He's got time. He's got all kinds of space because the safeties are split. Throw him the ball for the touchdown.
And the problem with the play was these guys didn't stay in their lanes,
well,
right? They didn't stay. They didn't go upfield. Just look a little bit enticing. Just start inside that tackle.
Right. And against Josh Allen, that's known as instant death. Okay. Because now he's out, and we said not only is he when he's scrambling, he's buying his receivers all kinds of extra time.
And you can't cover everybody forever.
Hey, listen, and so you got Gibbons matched up on the tight end with extra time. It's just, you can't, it's really hard to do.
Yeah, I can only imagine the fear that is going through their minds when the play gets extended and Allen starts rolling right. It's not a design run. He's scrambling to throw down the field, right? And then as a tight end, I already got a mismatch. Yeah. Now I know this guy is probably freaking out because he has 2 jobs, to cover me and to make sure he covers Josh Allen.
As I remember the play, right? Everybody was going this way. Allen had all day over here. Right? He could have ran.
The problem is because it's third and goal from the 15.
Okay, 15
so it's
yards
not
away.
like just go pick up 5 yards for the first time.
I got you. But he had all day.
He had all day. And your mindset on defense is, look, like as I said, they're in field goal range. They're going to kick a field goal. Just keep them out of the end zone.
And sure enough.
Now this gives them a chance to come to work here. An extra 5 seconds. It's
what they can't afford to do is let this happen with Lamar Jackson.
Well, Lamar, think about the tight ends that they have. First of all, Lamar Jackson will escape the same way, but he's faster. Yeah. He's not as strong. And they have 2 tight ends, the Baltimore Ravens, Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. Mm-hmm. And those guys are just as skilled, and maybe that'll be my key next week. How do you stop those guys? Because I know if I'm the Ravens, I'm looking at what the Buffalo Bills tight ends did the 2 times they played them.
They're going to look at the blueprint.
Every time the Bills played them, the tight ends went crazy.
They're going to look at the blueprint.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
The National Football League is the ultimate copycat institution. You study film. Hey, if they did it, we can do it. And
even the blitzes, though, too. Even like the Patriots, the Bills, were throwing blitzes at the Patriots. Any of those that worked, the Ravens are probably going to try those as well.
Lamar Jackson, faster but not as accurate as Josh Allen, correct?
I don't know. I mean,
I would say yes. I mean, he is a royal problem to play against, but he's
you can come up with other names for him too, but a royal problem with one of them, right?
He'll miss more open receivers than Josh Allen.
But he can pick up first downs like you won't believe, right?
But just put it in this context. You're talking both quarterbacks have been NFL MVPs.
Back to back.
So that tells you right there, what kind of players you're up against.
You're right about. And both quarterbacks have never won the big one yet.
Nope.
One more break. We're going to talk about Baltimore, the Ravens, what the Patriots have to do to beat them. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. How hard is it for this football team not to think about what just happened?
Well, it's hard. You have to force it out of your mind. But Steve, you know what's going to happen tomorrow? There'll be media availability, and everybody from the press, their first question is going to be what happened. They want to talk about Buffalo. There was a reason that Bill Belichick went on to Cincinnati. He was trying to help everybody in the football team and in the Boston understand what happened. What happened last Sunday was last week's game. You have to have total focus on what you're doing this coming Sunday.
Yeah, and if you're a reporter, you only get to ask that question once. Only one person. If you're talking to me and there's four other people around you, once you ask the question, I address it. That's it. Somebody else tries to jump in off of your question. I just answered it. That's usually the way it works.
You got to
right?
read the room.
You got to kill it and be done with it. And the reporters and the media, they need to know that we have moved on. It's not like we haven't forgot about all the mistakes that we made because we are literally corrected them. Okay, and we are now. Because here's the thing: if you spend the whole week feeling sorry for yourself, like that one loss will turn into two.
Every time. Every
It
time.
never fails.
Yeah.
Oh, woe is me. Oh, we're so bad. Oh, no, No, they didn't get that feeling back where like they had in the first half, right? Where like everything was working and
they couldn't be stopped.
Yeah,
and they couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, I like the fact that they have a really important test. Like this is a really good test for them on the road against a team that is hungry, that has improved both on offense and on defense. Not an easy task.
And has their back to the wall.
Yeah,
they're desperate.
Yeah, Pittsburgh won last night. They need to keep winning because they're going to play Pittsburgh one more time for the AFC North. They can't lose.
You want some good news?
Yeah.
Patriots haven't lost on the road.
All right, there we go.
All year long.
Yeah.
All year long.
And you know what? When they tee it up on Sunday night, that isn't going to help them at all.
Yeah. And by the way, as Vrabel's giving his pep talk, by the way, you guys have never lost on the road. And I would add, Vrabel's before, Sunday's game, he had never lost after a bye week.
I know. I'm just trying to.
That's me, the voice of reason.
The hardest thing, and I know I'm going right into classic coach speak, the hardest thing to do is keep your focus on what you got to do today. It is so easy to buy the hype, hats, T-shirts last week, next week. No, it's
we
what
didn't mention
we're doing
hats, T-shirts
today.
Okay.
Yeah, no more hat and T-shirt talk. It's your fault, by the way.
I get it. Don't blame me. All right, guys. Thank you very much. That's going to do it for this week. Glad you joined us for Burton Ernie Talk Football with Fauria. We'll see you next Tuesday, or find us anytime on our YouTube channel. I'm Steve Burton for Ernie Adams and Christian Fauria, saying so long.